Dirty Harry focuses on a war in the Middle East, yeah, and features the children's choir of San Fernandez. What are the song's meanings, and how did the addition of the children's choir affected the song's themes?
This is one of the first ones Noodle made with Danger Mouse, who took the production wheel for Demon Days, our enormous selling second album. It was built up around an old Gorillaz jam.
Russell wanted the drums to sound like something Clyde Stubblefield would put down, or Zigaboo Modelise from the Meters. Instead of just sampling a breakbeat, he'd try and make a beat that people would have sampled from the original hip-hop era.
Then we sampled it, cut it up, and made it sound like a breakbeat. Bit pointless, really, but we were jamming round a keyboard riff that sounded something like The Message by Grandmaster Flash.
Danger Mouse added the San Fernandez Youth Chorus.
I think it's always quite powerful when you get kiddywinks singing along to serious themes, don't you? I think it's right, though, isn't it? You know, children are our future, huh? If you infect them when they're young, you can usually keep them for life.
These kids are growing up out of a climate of conflict where intolerance has been encouraged, and there's a sense of fighting for something you're being manipulated into backing. It can't be good in the long run.
All you can really do as a musician is try and offer a different view, something a little more conciliatory.
So Booty Brown from the far side skids into the middle of the track and just like unleashes his machine gun peace rap, you know? Booty's rap humanises the position of the soldier, the fighter as an individual.
You add the Arabic strings into the mix of them and then you got the whole picture. It's a handshake from both sides. A bigger overview. I think it's time for a quick Almazza, don't you? Yeah, the name though, yeah. I think you're reading too much into it. The song we did, Clint Eastwood, came first, and we needed another hit like Clint Eastwood. So we named the track Dirty Harry, which is a bit like Clint Eastwood. It's only when you look back on it that it seems to have that political connection. Actually, have you got any rum? I'm beginning to come round, and it's not a pleasant feeling, I can tell you, being in focus. Please.
Now, one of my favourites, Feel Good Inc., was awarded the Grammy Award for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals in 2005. Did you feel this song was going to be a major hit when you were recording it with De La Soul?
Yeah, Feel Good Inc., yeah. I saw its potential from the very first beat. It was like panning for gold. Amongst the brown, murky waters, I saw this track all shiny and glimmery, shining like a big rock of gold. It said, "Play me, play me!" And I knew as soon as the De La Soul boys dropped their glorious rap about Motowns and ghost towns, this one was gonna explode.
Against my melody bit, the raps, they like really take off.
I think the De La Soul boys had been mucking about with canisters of nitrous oxide all morning because, to be frank, you know, they were giggling their backsides off when they came in.
It looked like they were going to out-cartoon us, you know? Lyric-wise, the first part of this came from when I was passing the wind turbines out near Palm Springs. I think I was going to the Coachella Festival, and I passed like a huge field full of those wind turbines farming the land. So I started really with the chorus section and, you know, built it up from there. When Mel farm the land, turn forever hand in hand.
So let's touch on a more serious note, guys. Kids with guns. I mean, it focuses, you know, on a very serious issue, and the chorus reads, "And they're turning us into monsters, turning us into fire, turning us into monsters, it's all desire." And the music complements the lyrics with a temperamental and emotional vibe. Discuss what methods you used to create the music and lyrics that gave off this feeling.
I got all cold and metallic like I was having a big math calm down. Ugh. It seems to do the job, though. Look, the only point I was trying to put across is that in order to fight monsters, right, you have to become a monster of some sort yourself. Take out all the little soft, fluffy bits and become a bit empty. Turning us into monsters, yeah? Just dead, lifeless eyes staring down the barrel of a gun. Kids, eh? Don't you just love them?
You know, when you send people into battle, you have to turn them into a certain kind of thing that can go out and potentially kill. Anyway, maybe it's not good to be too specific, but when you know...
It's a strong image, isn't it? Kids with guns. like that picture by William Klein, Gun 1. Check it out. The kid's got a lovely screwed up face and the gun's pointing right into the camera. Gorgeous. It's only a picture though.
We Were Joined on this track by Nana Cherry, Raw Like Sushi, was another album that I loved when growing up.
And on your new album, Plastic Beach, you work with Snoop Dogg, Lou Reed, Bashy, Mos Def, De La Soul, Gruff Rhys, Mick Jones and Paul Simonon, to name a few. I mean, the list goes on, doesn't it? I mean, what are some of the interesting stories you have that occurred when you were creating the album with these amazing musicians?
Oh, I got loads. I mean, how could you not when you've taken so many of those legends, put them together and brought them out to Plastic Beach? Legends of punk, legends of soul, new UK grime rappers, talents old and new. It's like a catalyst for a big adventure, isn't it? Actually, you should have seen some of the poker games we had, Some of them lasted 4 or 5 nights.
Obviously, I had to work all around this mess. Plastic Beach became like the Stones' place when they recorded Exile on Main Street. It's just ours, instead of being like a sun-kissed mansion in the south of France, was a floating piece of garbage in the middle of the Pacific.
Working with Snoop was great. Out of the green, eerie fog that surrounds Plastic Beach, this silhouette of pimp fur and French braids just loomed in. He took a look around the joint and just kind of, welcome to the world of Plastic Beach. Exhale. And after a brief bit of crack-a-lacking in the bubble bath, we were up and running. With White Flag, Bashy and Kano came out to Plastic Beach, and their first reactions were recorded live as they hit the shores. Those lyrics, those raps, were literally the first words those two spoke. I brought them over to Plastic Beach via a crate, so they didn't know exactly where they were or what to expect. See, I crowbarred open the crate, and as they set foot on the jetty, I shoved a mic into their faces and recorded the reaction into my silly little tape recorder. Ta-da! Never a truer rap spoken.
Although the National Orchestra for Arabic Music was recorded differently though, wasn't it?
Yeah, face ache, that's true. For that, I actually had to go to Syria. I was in disguise as so many people were actually trying to kill me. I was like dressed up in this sort of big smock. It was a bit sort of Peter Sellers, but, needs must, if you know what I'm saying. So I got over there and I worked with a guy named Assam Rafea, brilliant conductor, who conducted the Syrian orchestra, which you can hear at the beginning of White Flag. Since then, when Gorillaz play live, the Syrian orchestra have joined us in one form or another. And, of course, Gorillaz went over there to play a concert in July. The first major Western band to ever perform there, which is another small step for mankind.
Stylo, the song featuring hip-hop artist Mos Def and funk musician Bobby Womack, contains a lot of heavy vocal solos and interesting electronic instrumentation. Describe the experience you had in the studio when you first recorded this track.
Stylo. Yeah, this was the first single to come off the album. In fact, this one got stolen just weeks before the release. Some pirate shot up my island and nicked it and then leaked it online. You can't plug holes like that anymore in the brave new digital world. This is a new sound for Gorillaz, an electro-ish crack funk sound with a little bit of politics and a whole lot of soul going down. With Stylo, I wanted the music to feel euphoric, whilst still putting across how precarious our tightly packed situation is now worldwide. Where we're at as a species on this overpopulated planet. Coming on to the overload. Can you feel it, kids? Can you feel it, eh? The funny thing is, since man could pick up a pen and put his thoughts on paper, we've always had a sense of the apocalyptic, imminent doomsday. But I think something's got to give. It's like rubbing the impossible to burst. I think you can hear that in Bobby Womack's chorus. He just explodes into the track. I mean, how good is it to get Bobby Womack on the record? And now on tour with Gorillaz. That was the first recording he's made in, 15, 20 years? So, what an honour for him. Only joking. So the vocals for this were recorded out in New York. Same time that I hooked up with Mos Def. Yeah, he's great. Great rapper, great actor, and really vibrant presence. Him and Bobby worked really well with 2D here, so the whole track came together. When I first met up with Mose, it was at the Box Club in New York. He wouldn't stop yapping about the boogeyman. I thought it was just the cocktails talking. But Mose said he's a dark entity, yeah? Made up of all the evil in the world. Swirling black shadow with a gas mask for a face. He's at war unto himself. I shrugged and let Mose spill all this out. But I didn't really take it in. I just wanted Mose on the album, so I put up with it. Turns out that Mose was right. We've got the boogeyman on film now. I'm definitely looking over my shoulder more often. No doubt that's another battle I'm going to end up having. In fact, I tell you where you can see the boogeyman. He turns up in the footage we used for the Stylo video. It's enough to send a chill right down your spine. Look, why don't you top my glass up, stick the record on, and we'll have a little listen, eh? How about that?
Your video for Stylo features Bruce Willis as a bounty hunter. Can you summarise the video for us? You know, what was it like to work with Bruce Willis?
Yeah, I can summarise it. Someone hired Bruce Willis, or some kind of Willis looky-likey, to try and blow my brains out in the desert. Swine. I had some camera crew following me around, you know, some guys I'd hired, and they caught the whole thing on camera. Quite well, I thought.
I was next to Murdoc, who was driving. I was like really hungover that day. I remember I was using this kind of clown mask to hide my headache. It didn't really work.
And we had Cyborg Noodle in the back. We were minding our own business, tearing through the desert in the black Stylo Camaro. All of a sudden, I noticed I was being trailed by this cop car. Next thing, Cyborg goes mental and starts shooting at the cop. I tried to pull her in, but it didn't work. The cop flew off the road, and then we launched into this massive billboard, at which point Cyborg started having some sort of digital fit. Next thing, this red car pulls up alongside with Bruce Willis in it. And he's taking pot shots at us.
I always thought you two got on.
Yeah, me too. Maybe he's just got a grump on, you know, because I stiffed him with that sake bill at Nobu that time. But you know, boy, that's a bit traumatic to hunt me down and try and kill me. Eventually, just to escape this nut, I had to drive the car off a cliff, straight into the sea.
Is this a dream you had?
No, you fool. You were there too, don't you remember? Anyway, I was so traumatised by all this that my therapist told me to try and turn it into a positive experience. So I used the footage to make a video for our Stylo single. It's all up there on the World Wide Web. Check it out. You won't see anything finer, you know.
Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett served as the producers for Plastic Beach. What kinds of methods and techniques did they use when they helped you create the album?
A lot of channeling. You see, in my dotage, I have come to realise that I'm not 100% sure I truly exist. I may, just may, mind you, be born and thrust forth out of the collective minds of those two horrors. It doesn't make me any less real, but they did give me substance. Or substances. I'm not sure. This interview's dragging on a bit, isn't it? Can we sort of pick up the pace a bit?
I think Glitter Freeze is one of the most interesting tracks on Plastic Beach. I mean, it's filled with loud electronic synthesizers, features Marky Smith from The Fall on vocals. What was going through your minds when you created the song?
Rum, Rohypnol, something exotic from the Navajo Nation, little tinctures and technicolor images of huge ships crashing in dirty, broken waves. The roar of the ocean smashing into angry, howling boats. Black, harrowing gales spitting hurricanes against the shore. With all the chaos and madness being conducted by a toothless, barking pirate named Marky Smith from The Fall. That was going through my mind. It's my version of Fantasia, or maybe some mad old naval painting. It's kind of effective, don't you think?
Marky Smith tried to ram raid our island, Plastic Beach. He sailed in on the ghostly pirate ship and tried to smash his way into the recording room.
It's a bit chemically synthetic glam rock stomp set on a boat. Do you like it? Do you? I think what the breakdown needs, though, is a great big air raid siren creaming its way into the middle to let you know that there's danger coming your way.
We did a few different versions of this, actually. There's one when I'm humming all the way through, which sounded good. I wonder why we didn't use that one.
Yeah,